Joseph will run us through the Army lineup.
Yeah, the all-important three forwards are Ashoka Jailal, Samir Vikramanayaka and Sumedha Nanayakara. They played an excellent game against CR last week. They ran the offensive four for the Soldiers. Also, just to quickly wrap up the rest of the team, Madhuranga Nalaka, Sampath Rosa, Chamira Silva, Upul Aberatna, Manoj De Silva, Mahesh Veerasinghe, Ashan Bandara, Thusisena Nayaka, Danushka Talwat, Kasun Madhuranga, Iranga Aryapala and Gayan Salin. The very strong team lineup, and hopefully they will be able to replicate what they did last week against CRNFC.
Yes, and Iranga Aryapala, Danushka Talwat will be the two main heads in the backline for Army, as they have been potent in attack and safe as a house in defense. So let's see how they cope up to this challenge on the away trip to Navy. As we look at the reserves bench for both teams, first the Navy reserves, Stefan Gregory, the big prop from St. Joseph's College, Kasun De Silva, Amit Gunasinghe, Nirosh Pereira, Chatura Delshan, Suranga Pushpakumar, the experienced scrum half, Sashika Abe Sekara, and also Niranjan Vikramaratne, the former Wesleyite known as Maraya, returns to the Navy replacements bench. So it's good to see him back. And for Army, it will be Samira Suryarachi, Ishara Danushka, Vinod Kumara, Suramya Herat, Sudaraka Dikkubura, Victor Pradeep, Madhushan, Chandrasekhara, and finally Isuru Madagedara. So I'm sure it'll be a game of two halves and not just 15 players but 23, as we see the Navy huddle in the center, their traditional huddle in the center before the game, before kickoff.
Yeah, I think the most interesting stat coming up to this game is the fact that Army had a very similar record against CRNFC. They missed out by a solitary point in the very first game of the season, 24 points to 25 in favour of the Longdon Place lads. But in the return fixture, they narrowly beat them once again, 20 points to 24. So that's exactly what the Soldiers would want to do against Navy this time around as well. Exactly the same score as to what it was against CRNFC in their first game. And if they can pull off a shock defeat here, that will certainly upset the apple cart in terms of the title race, and that will certainly give a boost for Havelocks and Candy. And then certainly the title race will turn into a two-horse race. But that being said, Navy at their own layer are deadly, are very lethal, and are relentless when it comes to their persistent pressure. So this is going to be a really nip and tuck game lined up for us as the Sailors are ready to kick off.
Yes, it will be Thilina Veerasinghe, the fullback, to kick off. And I'm sure this is going to be 80 minutes of enthralling rugby. Thilina Veerasinghe hoists it as Army somehow managed to collect the ball and set it up, but unfortunately they'll lose it forward. It's play on by the referee. So Navy collect the restart and they set as the hooker takes it in and sets it up again. So it will be good to see how Navy start the game and how they approach it from the onset.
Yeah, like you mentioned earlier, Romario, there has been a change between the hooker and the number 8. So this is not their usual man in the job. So interesting to see what the tactics are in that aspect. But Army, on the other hand, will be disappointed. A bit of sloppy hands at the beginning. They could have retained possession, but quickly turned over the ball in favor of Navy. Now Navy are coming really strong at them. What I think it will be interesting to see is whether Army will be able to put up a defensive performance like they did against CRNFC. The forwards absolutely ran riot against the Longdon Place lads. But that being said, it's a different ball game. It's a different team. So surely the tactics has to differ.
Yeah, as you can see, and Dinesh De Silva goes for some territory. So following a good couple of phases, Navy decide to kick and pin Yafos back into their 22, or rather 1 meter out of their 22. So we'll see how Army manage their line out and who jumps and where they take it in, whether they go to the front, middle, or the back.
That's a good clean collection of the line out. Now Army trying to muscle their way through out of their half, but Navy holding firm. Again,
Ashoka Jailal there with a lung busting run, a trademark run of his, as Sampath Rosa sets it up again for Army, and the referee's arm comes out for advantage. Tackler not rolling there. On that occasion it was number 20 Adisha Veeratunga penalised, as the referee goes back for the penalty.
Slightly soppy from the Navy lads there. On that occasion they had early pressure building on their visitors, but a bit of loose bit of play handed the advantage. I think Army will be relieved that they let off the hook on that occasion. Now surely they'll try to gain some yards with this penalty.
And that was a quite good kick, and it'll be Army back in the Navy half of the pitch, and this time it'll be good to see how Samira throws into the line out, the hooker wearing the number 29 jersey on the near touch line.
Just inside the 50 of the Navy half. Good clean collection once again. This time they were trying to work the line. Good hand shown. Lovely bit of movement, but Navy regrouping very fast. Covered up with the early yards. Now trying to keep it compact in defense right in the middle. I think that's one of the areas which was exploited by CHNFC last week. So they wouldn't want to repeat the same mistakes. There were a bit of defensive frailties in their last week performance. So that's something they will not want to emulate.
Yeah, as Ashoka Jailal shows some lovely hands, and a player gets bundled over, but unfortunately for Army they lose the ball forward, and it's advantage, scrum advantage, as Richie Dharmapala kicks from the base, but straight to the opposition fullback, wearing the number 27 jersey, Gayan Salind.
Really inconsistent bit of play by Army on that occasion as well. Once again handing over the advantage to Navy. It's not what you want to see when you have ball possession. Again, the clearing was not as convincing as it was. The ball just kindly falling into the chest of the fullbacks. Again, indecision, but this time recovery is excellent. Now he's going on his own. In need of support. The man is still running on his feet. Excellent bit of work by the
wing three quarter for Army, Tusita Senanayaka, and he sets it up as they work the line, but a sloppy pass there from the outside back, Ashan Bandara. The pass going behind the man and slows down the attack, but here come Navy again, this time through the captain. Mahesh Veerasinghe, and they have numbers to burn on the outside. And the break is made by number 20, Danushka Talwat. Just as I said, the centre will have a big role to play in the game. He makes the first line break for Army, and they set up again, this time inside the 10 meter, as Ashoka Jailal uses his body weight to go forward. Back to the line. They have numbers again, and this cutout pass goes out wide, and it's the first try for Army. There goes number 32, Ashan Bandara, the fly half. It was a lovely bit of play there as they sent the ball out wide, used the numbers, and one inside pass sees Ashan Bandara go over for the first try of the game.
Here we see the replay. Lovely bit of hands. Working the ball out wide, and then quickly seeing the inside pass. He was completely unmarked with a gaping hole in defense. And that's all he needed as an invitation as he ran through. Squashbuckling move there by the Sailors. Deservedly in the lead for that offensive move. And now the Sailors will have a bit of nerves. They are regrouping as the conversion is being lined up to be taken. If I'm not mistaken, it's the number 27, Gayan Salind, who went over the line for, who's lining up the conversion rather, I beg your pardon. The visitors have a squashbuckling support here in the ground. They've come in their numbers. Of course, a morale boosting victory last week, so certainly they are expecting the unexpected here in Valisara, as the kick is good. 7 points to the good are the Sailors at the moment, and surely this is a shock lead considering the fact that Navy are playing at home, and certainly it's setting the tone up for an exciting remainder of this game. Sailors kick things off once again, and just as I was mentioning in our pre-match statements, CH exploited their defensive frailties, and that's exactly what Army have done.
Yes, and just after the try, they make a schoolboy error there by the experienced Tilina Veerasinghe. He kicks it full out, so it's not a good start for the hosts, but as we know always, they are a very good second half team as well, so it'll be good to see how it goes from here, as we see a little bit of tactical play. Army, rather Navy, not keeping a scrum half. The scrum half is back in the line, so they have an extra number, and there's no one to bother number 8 captain as well of Army, as they switch it back to the winger Iranga Aryapala. He makes a good break and sets it up again, so the Army tank seems to be rolling again.
Again, lovely forwards play, running into his challenges. Now again, good numbers out wide, but this time of course Navy alert to the danger, but still Army with some good momentum. Again, a strong big number 3, hard hit.
There goes Ashoka Jailal, but he was well tackled there by the lock forward Lahiru Vishwajit, but Army rumble forward and they go to the line again. There another break, and unfortunately for Navy they go over in the ruck, and it'll be a penalty to Army. So this is good early pressure by the visitors, as the scrum half Mahesh Veerasinghe tries to tap and go quickly, a cheeky little tap, but it was just a dummy, as you can see on the replay. Danushka Pereira Gertha was penalized there. He went over in the ruck and did not let clear ball come out. So,
and certainly has come out short in that challenge. It seems like a head injury, and straight away the stretcher has been called onto the field of play. This is really not good signs for the Sailors right now. One of their star players, seemingly very uncomfortable in this occasion, does pick himself up. It's just 10 minutes into the game, so very early on to receive a blow as such is not very convenient, and they're signaling for a change by the looks of it. So lots happening, and now this is certainly not what the doctor ordered in terms of Navy is concerned. They have to replace Gertha, one of their star players. Danushka, probably, I think, is because of a head injury.
Yes, and I think it's they are going for an head injury assessment, HIA, and he has 10 minutes to prove that he's not concussed, and if he does so, he can return back. So, and in the meantime, it'll be Gayan Salind going for touch and stabs it deep into the Army, the Navy 22. So Army back on the attack, and they'll be hoping to come away with another try, and if they do so, I think it'll post a stiff challenge for the hosts.
Yeah, that will certainly be a knock on the chin for the hosts today. Again, loose hands, but recovery is good. Again, another loose pass, but Navy on that absence managed to gather some yards in defense, but still need bit of feet covering up for the lost ground. Again, ball back to the skipper. Driving forward, that's Sampath Rosa. They're locked forward. Play on, says the referee. hustling and harrying the Sailors. They want to gain possession as Ashoka Jailal once again runs into a challenge. Ball's out wide, inside pass. He had his numbers, but I think it was a very good challenge. But now
they have
number 32. And I think the referee has given a penalty for a knock-on.
Unfortunately for Army, number 32 playing at outside half, rather fly half as we know it. Ashan Bandara coughs it up. It's unfortunate. He had numbers, but he decided to show and go and spilled the ball in contact. And there were 2 knock-ons as Richie Dharmapal also knocked it on. So it's a scrum for Navy on the 5-meter line, but I think Army will look to pressure them.
I think this is exactly how the first round game also spanned out. Army were the quickest off the blocks, but Navy managed to recover in time, just in the nick of time.
And here goes Dulanjana from the back of the scrum. Not a usual position for him, but I'm sure he is a good enough player to adjust as Dinesh De Silva kicks a good clearance touch, a touch finder, and relieves the pressure from the hosts.
Just outside the Navy 22, the valuable yards gained on that occasion. Good kick under pressure. That's what you need when you're in such a situation. Cool, calm heads. They have the experience to battle it out of this situation, but of course, the heat of the moment, sometimes you tend to forget your fundamentals.
As another good line out taken in the center, and there goes center Kasun Maduranga as he sets it up, and the captain Manoj De Silva sets it up again. Their forwards seem to be putting in a lot of work as they send the ball wide. Gayan Salind, bit of a hospital pass there, and gets hammered. Danushka Talwat.
A strong challenge on that occasion. Again, sloppy hands. Navy not waiting for that invitation. They're quickly to gobble up when the opportunity presents itself. But still, the ball remains with the soldiers.
The forwards seem to be playing a good game as Dulanjana Vijay Singh turns it over. Lovely turnover there at the breakdown. And Dinesh De Silva decides to run, but Sali Andapan unfortunately knocks it on. He had the space in front of him, but unfortunate for him, the Sri Lankan winger coughs it up again for Navy and invites a bit of pressure onto his side.
That's what pressure can do to you. Sali Handapangoda, with all the experience in the world, had all the yards to run at him. But I think he just took his eyes off the ball. He was concerned about the yards rather than grabbing the ball on the first occasion itself. And again, Navy scoffing up a valuable opportunity.
Yes, Joseph. Also, just a note for the viewers. As you can see, even though Dulanjana Vijay Singh is noted as number 8 in the team sheet, in the defensive scrum, he packs down in hooker. So this is good thinking. He's playing a dual role as Nirosh Perera, the replacement for Danushka Perera, slots into number 8 as Captain Manoj De Silva breaks. There goes Danushka Talwat, bumps off the first tackler, shows some good strength and sets it up. Goes the second row. He's not held, and was just held by Richie Dharmapal as they have numbers again. But Ashoka Jailal puts his head down and goes forward. Army on the rampage as they decide to go out to the winger. Iranga Aryapala steps in and is brought down. This is a lovely bit of attack in play. Good continuity.
Excellent forward play here by the front men of Army. They are certainly causing some headaches for the Sailors, and still the momentum is with them. They can't even seem to get out of their own half.
Yeah, also Army seem to be recycling the ball pretty well. They're getting quick ball, and it's helping them in attack as Iranga Aryapala, the wing 3, goes forward again. Sets it up. Mahesh gives it to Sumedha Nanakar, the big prop forward. And this time Ashoka Jailal, but unfortunately loses the ball forward in contact. So there goes another opportunity for Army. And for Army's sake, let's hope that it won't be too costly for them. Them coughing up a couple of tries rather.
Yeah, second time running. This is on the opposite end of the field. Earlier we saw another incident just with the try line at sight. I think the entire reason why Army are playing in such a momentous manner is that they have a nothing to lose attitude towards this game, whereas they know Navy have to win. That added bit of pressure itself is causing a lot of tatters in the Navy ranks at the moment. They seem to be scrambling all over the place.
Yes, Joseph, talking about Army having nothing to lose. They are currently in 6th position, having won just 4 games out of 11. So it's all to play for Army, rather Navy, as they have the title on the line. As we can see, Danushka Pereira coming back on from the HIA bin. So this will be very good news for Army, rather Navy and their supporters, to see him, the experienced man, back.
Yeah, quite a bit of cheers going around the grounds. I think that just gives a bit of comfort when you see one of your star players returning back to the lineup. That's what you want to see in a crunch game like this. You don't want to lose your star players early. So that's at least a psychological advantage for the Sailors right now.
And this time, Dulanjana Pereira slots in a number 8 and turns it over as Army puts some pressure at the breakdown. But unfortunately, they go through the side, says the referee. So this is a timely penalty for Navy as they look to get out of their half. So they'll hope that Thilina Vijay Singh thumps this into touch around the 50-meter line and gains some good ground for Army.
Yeah, timely penalty, as the referee is asking for a bit of assistance. What the confusion is, we are yet to know.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of difficulty with his mic, so the technical team running on to sort it out for the referee.
Much needed break. I think now the Sailors will regroup. They'll have to talk to each other, especially the defensive side of play. They'll have to regroup. They'll have to assess their mistakes and not continue the way they are. And now the referee, I think, has sorted his issue. Now play will resume.
Yes, and it'll be Dinesh De Silva, not Thilina Vijay Singh, to go for touch. So the former Josephian will be looking for a good touch kick. And it seems to be a very good touch kick. Takes Navy out of their half and 1 meter into the Army half. So that was a very good kick there by Dinesh De Silva, the former Josephian.
Wonderful kick there under pressure. Just what they needed to get out of their own half. Of course, the resulting line out too. They will want some good hands. Get their engines running, their motors pumping up on the offensive side of it. Again, lovely hands
at the front of the line out as Navy pull out their trademark maul. Rumbling forward goes Navy as Danushka Pereira was at the end of it, and Dulanjana gives it back to Danushka. Return back to Dulanjana, but he unfortunately knocks it forward, and there goes another opportunity for the Sailors. So both teams coughing up some opportunities in the first 15 minutes, which is not good for the neutral viewers, but for Army supporters it will be a timely break.
Yeah, just ideal if you're Army, because I think for the first time in a long while, Navy came in attack, and the Army defense didn't know how to cope with it to a certain extent, and timely advantage or intervention in their favor, so that now they can break the momentum Navy carried forward.
Yes, and this time now again in the defensive line out. This time Richie Dharmapala opts to stay at the number 9 position as Manoj De Silva, the captain, breaks and sets it up beautifully for Army. They'll be looking to use the big forwards as Ashoka Jailal goes on his usual run, but unfortunately loses it forward. And a good offload there to Dulanjana. Shrugs off a tackler, but is brought down on the second attempt as the captain goes forward. Roshan Ranasinghe. This time again back to the wing 3/4. Number 11, Supun Dilshan. Good to see the youngster back in the lineup for Navy. There goes Satya Ranatunga. The big man, Lairu Vishwajit, the big man at second row. The captain sets it up again. Richie goes short side. And Supun Dilshan again.
Navy consistently opting for the blind side. I think this is just a setup to unleash their wingers on a surprise note by the looks of it. Now the Sailors are gathering momentum, working it out wide. He has numbers. Shrugs off one, shrugs off two, but brought down on the third occasion. But still, the opportunity is looming. But Army are back in numbers as Sali Handapangora goes in support.
That was Tanuja Malimbada who bumped off the first tackle and made some lovely meters forward, as this time it's the captain for Navy, Richie Dharmapala. Short runner, and I think the try has been scored as the referee calls for time off. I think he's going to consult his assistant on the near touchline.
For the naked eye, it looked like he scored the try, but then again, enough and more doubt. But then now the referee has decided he needs a bit of assistance in terms of making the decision, and the try has been awarded. Navy have hit back hard, and now they have the opportunity to level things up here.
Yes, indeed, the opportunity to level things up. A good couple of phases for Navy, and they managed to try through hooker Nishal Deshata. If I am not mistaken, we can go to the replay after this kick.
Tilne Vijay Singh to knock it between the sticks to level things up. Army again, just as you thought, they were trying to run away with it. Have been pegged back by the Sailors.
This should be meat and drink for Tilina, and he does convert. So it's a level game with, and as you can see on the replay, the captain goes forward, sets it up, and a good short line selected there by number 19 rather. The center, Kosala Thisera, was the man to somehow find the whitewash and score for Navy to equal proceedings. Yes, and off camera we can see Stefan Gregory has made a replacement for the captain in a tight head prop position. Roshan Ranasinghe getting his head patched up, as you can see on the top of our camera. Modilal giving him some instructions, as well as Gayan Salin the kicks off straight to Dulanjana. Dulanjana gives it off to Dinesh De Silva, and he kicks it, but not out in touch. So Manoj De Silva with a chance to run, pins his ears back and runs, but it was Dulanjana, the ever-present hooker playing at number 8, breaks. Dinesh De Silva, known as Kotia, makes the turnover, but unfortunately the referee says he was in there illegally, so a penalty goes in the way of Army.
A bit of concern here as Sumed Nanakara is clutching onto his knee as he's hit the ground. The penalty was actually awarded in his favour after the tackle avenged towards him. Now certainly and in between all this, we've come to terms that Gayan Salinda has opted to go for the sticks. Probably now, I think, with Navy's latest try, trying to always stay ahead of the game by putting the points in the board, which is a very good tactical approach, as we see grey clouds surely but steadily taking over the ground right now. And Sumed Nanakara certainly seemed to be in a little bit of distress. It's the knee, always a concern in this type of sport.
Yeah, unfortunately for Army, the Navy supporters are booing Gayan Salind, which is not good to see in a game of rugby. But Gayan Salind keeps his cool and slots over to take Army back into the lead.
Absolutely calm head on that occasion. Like you said, Romario, this is not certainly what you see usually, especially when a conversion or a penalty is taken out of sportsmanship and mutual respect. You always tend to give the man his concentration, but wasn't to be the case here. But still, credit to Gayan Salind keeping his head straight and absolutely pinning it through the middle. Now, the Soldiers once again are up by 3 points. As we see, Sumed Nanakara seem to be taken out of the field of play. Not in a position to continue by the looks of it, as the substitution is being prepared.
Yes, he looks to be in a lot of discomfort there, and unfortunately for him, a knee injury could be quite serious, but we'll have to wait and see how the diagnosis goes. He was clutching onto his left knee.
That latest image suggests the fact that he's not even in a position to be helped onto his feet. So really concerning, especially when it comes to your knee ligaments. Your ACL and your knee ligaments are some of the most sensitive muscles in your body. So hope that isn't as serious as it is. A bit of sportsmanship shown there off camera. Pat on the chest as Sumed Nanakara makes his way out.
Telina Vijay Singh kicks, Veera Singh rather, kicks off. And good leap there, but unfortunately knocks it on for Navy. And I'm pretty sure Joseph Modilal Jayatilaga, the coach of Navy, will not be happy because they conceded points just after the try as Dulanjana makes a trademark run, sets it 5 meters off the 40-meter line as Dinesh De Silva flings out another lovely pass, but unfortunately for Sali Handapangoda, he knocks on again. So this is the second time. I think that was the correct idea there by Dinesh, the cutout pass, and he had a man outside as well, but unfortunately Sali Handapangoda coughs it up again.
Yeah, I think the idea was right, like you said, with the explosive pace of Sali Handapangoda in offer. But hasn't been the young man's day, as you can see on the replay. Now this was just after he did commit that cynical foul. Cynical error rather. And handed over the advantage back to Army. And I think, like you said, Romario, Motilal Jayasthilaka will not be happy. They're fortunate to an extent to find themselves level at a point, despite a few errors. Lovely bit of improvisation. Goes for the kick on the full. And kicking it back towards the Soldiers. Interesting replay there, Romario, to see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see on the replay. There was some good footwork shown there as Army set up again. This time an up and under by Ashan Bandara. Was a bit too much on it, but Navy get numbers and bring down the ball to safety as Sali Handapangoda makes play at makeshift fly half, scrum half, but unfortunately Dinesh De Silva's clearance kick was charged down by Upul Aberatna, and that's a try for Army, the second of the game. There was a bit of lazy play there by Dinesh De Silva.
And a bit of individual brilliance there by the try scorer. That's Upul Aberatna. Here we see Sali Handapangoda setting him up, had his time, but took a bit of too much time. And Upul Aberatna just kept charging at him, and the ball fell very kindly on the bounce to his lap, and all he had to do was just collect it and go over the line. And Navy once again find themselves in a cynical position, a downfall of their own mishaps. First, the loose bit of handling from Sali Handapangoda to hand the ball back, and then the momentum eventually carrying Army over the line. Bread and butter here for Gayan Salind. And easy does it as Army goes 17-7 up after 25 minutes played. Action-packed 25 minutes. We've had it all.
Yes, Gayan Salin seemed to just side-foot it over there from close range. As Tilina Veerasinghe comes back to kick off. So Navy under a bit of pressure, but just a rather two scores away. So this time Navy managed to recollect the kickoff, and they'll be hoping for an attack straight out from this. There seem to be a bit of hands in ruck, but fortunately for Army, the referee does not penalize them. Navy sets it again, but this time Army are penalized for their line being offside, and a penalty will be coming, and that's just why Richie Dharmapala kicked it, because he knew that there was a penalty coming. Penalty for line offside there by the soldiers.
Yeah, smart bit of play on that occasion, and the referee rightfully pulling things back. Now what do they have to do, Romario? It seems like it's again some of their defensive frailties is coming to their fore. That was an absolutely syndicate error on that occasion. Cardinal sin. That is not one for the highlight package for sure. If as far as the Sailors are concerned, loose and poor. All he had to do was go to touch, and clearly the nerves are getting the best of them at the moment.
Yeah, the nerves got the better out of him, and Dinesh De Silva put it dead, kicked it dead. So it'll be a 22 dropout as Gayan Salin prepares himself. A good deep kick, and Army are telling Navy, pinning them back into their own half and just telling them to attack. As Supun Dilshan kicks it, but seemed to be a miss kick. But fortunately for him, Army gathers, recollects, and goes back. There seemed to be a bit of a high tackle, but unfortunately for Army, the referee does not notice it as Gayan Salin goes to the line. Just an with the players rushing out of the line, Navy seem to be short a man in defense, but it's just because the players are running out and creating a dog leg. They're creating it, making it difficult for themselves. As again they have numbers, Army on the outside, but the big prop forward, rather the hooker, puts his head down and decides to go into touch, go into contact. As Gayan Salin puts in a lovely kick. Unfortunately for the Army centre, Kasun Maduranga, Tusitha, playing on the wing, failed with the second attempt to kick it forward. So it'll be a Navy line out inside that their half of play, half of the pitch. So it'll be good to see now how they settle down. I think they need to just keep the ball with them and settle down a bit. And I think if they do so, they're in with a shout here.
Yeah, lovely idea once again by Gayan Salin on that occasion, just that the execution wasn't there as much as the idea.
As you can see, there's a replacement running on, but we're not too sure for whom he is coming on. And yes, I think there goes Ishara Dhanushka was in for a head injury assessment as Sumed Nalaga Maduranga makes his way back, and Army recollect the loose ball, and they are back on the attack deep inside the Navy 22 as Manoj De Silva drops it short, and he puts his head down and goes forward. Another good attack there by Ashoka Jailal. Quick ball required. Unfortunately for Army, they managed to butcher the chance, and another kick comes forward. But this time Navy will mark it, but the number 9 knew that there was a penalty advantage. That's why he kicked it. As we can see off screen, there is another Army player down. This match is taking a bit of toll on both sides.
Yeah, absolutely. Marauding run by Samira Suryarachi initially to take or seize the advantage, but I think it looks squandered. It's Chamira Silva who is actually down the flanker. And once again, another player clutching onto the knee area. And the assistant, he's been provided heavily bandaged knee area. So I think he's nursing an injury playing into this game. So that is not a very comforting sign if you're a spectator.
Yes, and Gayan Salingda goes for the posts again. So he's looking to kick Navy out of this contest. And this should be another easy one to slot over for him.
Yeah, smart option, because always points on the board will be creating a bit of doubt in the opposition. Now especially Navy find themselves 13 points behind after that kick. And Salinda, for his ability, that's just a walk in the park right under the posts, and he makes it look very easy. 31 minutes in, Army have taken an absolutely stunning, shocking lead here by 13 points, and who's to say that they don't deserve it for the amount of intensity and atrocity shown by them.
Yes, Army seem to be the more drilled team, and I'm sure momentum is also playing a part as they came into this match with a good win over CR last week. So this and on the other hand, Navy came in following a win beating CH, rather a depleted CH team posed no threat to Navy. But this week around, it's a whole different story here at Valisara, as we are into the 33rd minute of the game, and Army have a line out in their own field, in their own.
I think, like you said, Romario, you never underestimate a team which beats a team like CR and FC in their own den. Certainly a lot of momentum and wind in their sails, so to say. So Navy knew what they were up against.
That was lovely line out play as Shamira Silva collected from the back, and the maul goes rumbling forward as not sure who has the ball, but this time the number 9 Skramov kicks in a box kick over Supun Dilshan's head, but unfortunately for him the ball trickles into the in-goal area, and Supun Dilshan touches it down, so it'll be a dropout 22 for Navy. Supun Dilshan comes running forward, tries to take a quick one, but unfortunately no chance for it.
Yeah, they shouldn't be trying to play at the pace of Army at the moment, Navy. That certainly is the reason for the downfall. They're trying to play at the same intensity, which is not providing any sort of essence to their offensive game at the moment. They should tone a bit down, take things in their own terms, and probably build a bit of momentum before they could probably at least cross over the line once before Lemons, if preferable, because if they go into the half with 13 points at deficit, that certainly will cause a bit of distress.
That was a lovely move there. One man going on the decoy, and it created a bit of space for the hooker in the number 29 jersey, Samir, but unfortunately he drops the ball forward. There, as you can see, the number 6 Chamira Silva draws in the defender close in, and there was a slight hold there for Samira, but unfortunately he knocked the ball forward. So this is has been an intense half of rugby.
Surely,
but I think Army has got the better out of Navy.
I think that was a typical training ground routine, but just caught Samira Vikramanayaka by surprise, and as a result, he had sloppy hands on that occasion.
As the referee calls for a reset in the scrum, he talks to the number 8 and tells them they need to bind in, put their heads in before he says set. So here we go again. an attacking scrum for, rather, a center scrum for Navy. They have 3 each on both sides of the field, so Dulanjana will decide what side they break on. But again, the scrum wheels, but according to the new law, even though the scrum wheels, the ball is with the same side. So this time for Navy, they keep the ball. As you can see here on the replay, it was hooked in well by Nisal Deshada, and Dulanjana playing at number 8, the makeshift position, tried to control it, but I'm sure he's not too used to it, and it'll take a bit of getting used to, as Richie Dharmapala feeds for the 3rd time. This time Dulanjana breaks, goes to his right hand side, back to Richie Dharmapala, brother of Richard Dharmapala, of course, the Candy wing 3 quarter. As we can see, Dinesh De Silva barking out orders, telling the forwards, go forward, take another one. This time for Dulanjana, steps the first man, bumps off the second one.
A lovely bit of play, but again, that final end product is just haunting Navy at the moment. Excellent feat by the young man on that occasion, but still unable to find that telling pass. I think he was looking for.
That was a good kick there by Ashan Bandara, and but unfortunately the chasers were not too good, as Ashan Bandara gets fended off, but manages to hang on. Second time of asking Richard Dharmapala. Richard Dharmapala again to Dinesh De Silva, gives a short pass to Dulanjana, but there's some good contest at the breakdown, but unfortunately the referee calls a penalty to Navy and says the ruck was formed and he can't put his hand into the ruck. As you can see here, I think it was a correct decision, as we saw 3 players form in the ruck, and the Army player put his hand in, and hence penalty to Navy. And Thilina Veerasinghe will go for touch, rather go for goal from around 40 meters to the angle. As you can see here the Army supporters booing Thilina.
Yeah, they're returning the favor for what happened earlier to Gayan Salinda. So certainly the crowd also getting into this. Certainly not outnumbered are the visitors. So interesting to see how the crowd pressure will also play on the players. Vital kick for the cause in terms of Navy. And absolutely pierces the post on that occasion. Just what you need going into the half, as the referee blows for lemons. It's 10 points to 20 as we draw the end of the first half. Do tune into live action from the second half in about 15 minutes time, and an enthralling half of rugby remaining to be played.
Yes, it was an intense half of rugby. Both teams going on the attack. No inch given. But Army go in with a 10-point break. So it's match number 46 in week 12 of the Dialog Rugby League 2016-17. A home game for Navy, but unfortunately they go into halftime with a 10-point deficit. As we can see, the Navy band. And welcome back after an enthralling 40 minutes. We are back at Valisara for the final 40, as Gayan Salinda will kick off the game for Army. So a slight roundup if you are just joining us here at www.thepapare.com. Army lead Navy surprisingly 20 points to 10 as Gayan Salinda kicks off, and the hooker and the flanker goes charging in but misses the tackle. As Navy set up, and Dinesh De Silva decides to run without kicking. A man on the outside, but Supun Dilshan again, another wing 3/4 on the near touchline, knocks it on for Navy. So that has been the story of the first half, Joseph.
Absolutely poor once again. They had the opportunity to hit early and hit hard, and once again they disappoint, as you can see in that replay on the previous occasion.
So just to confirm, no changes for both sides as the same 15s walk out, and Army feed to the scrum. Manoj De Silva, the captain, tried to show and go, but Danushka Perera was up to the task and tackled him, and here goes the big prop forward. Ashoka Jairal runs straight into Dinesh De Silva. Somehow manages to bring the man down. Gayan Salinda shows good hands and sends it out wide to the wingman, number 13, Kasun Maduranga, but he sets it up in the corner, and Navy back again on the attack. Rather, Army.
Again, sloppy hands once again, still not been collected, and heavy hit there by Danushka, but cut loose. Here is the number 20, Danushka Talwat, but sent out of the playing field by the Navy defense. But boy, again, there were a few alarm bells ringing in defense. Here's that replay. Lovely feet, dancing past 1, 2, getting loose of the first challenge, but couldn't manage to do so in the second attempt, and eventually bundled over the field of play.
Looked to be a bit illegal there from Dulanjana. He dived on the man who was on the floor and took him out as Roshan Ranasinghe, the captain, on his haunches, but goes down on his back now. Not good signs for Navy. The start of the second half, as time was called off by the referee, and seemed to be clutching on to his knee, if I'm not mistaken, Joseph.
Yet another knee injury. Don't know whether it's something to do with the outfield, but every single time someone tends to go down, there is a real serious cause for concern, as the physiotherapist immediately signaled for a replacement, although he's on his feet. This could be a temporary replacement, as Stefan Gregory once again comes into play, the field of play. The former Josephian player.
I think at this time of the half, seems to be clutching onto his ribs and walking out, so doesn't seem to be like a temporary replacement. Looks to be a permanent replacement, as Stefan Gregory comes in for the captain, Roshan Ranasinghe, as Army disrupt the line out and manage to win it, and they go back on the attack through number 16, the replacement front row forward Samira Suryarachi. Navy set it up again, rather Army set it up again.
Immediately stolen off the line out. Samira Suryarachi once again running into his men.
This
now
to the line, and there goes Iranga Arya Pala coming in from the close touch line. This is a bit of good face play by Army. They are managing to recycle the ball well, and showing some good continuity as they go ever so close to the line, and there goes number 16. He seemed to have gone over, but the referee blows, and he's called time off, and he's going to consult his touch judge, but to the naked eye it seemed to be another try, but you never know. What the referee sees is what matters. Time back on, and seems to be going for the knock on. Yes, unfortunate there for Samira Suryarachi. As you can see on the replay, he comes in and somehow manages to bundle over 2 men, and go forward. But unfortunately, correct decision there. Unfortunately for Army, they cough it up again.
Yeah, good decision once again. I think there was a crucial decision similar made on the previous half. That time it was Navy, but again, that time the try was awarded rightfully. This time, again, the right decision was made. So good refereeing So that's something you want to see in a game as crucial as this. The refereeing being on point and not leaving room for error. Tilna Veerasinghe with the kick to touch. Not much ground gain, but still let off from jail. So they'd want to capitalize on that from that point onwards.
Yes, and I think from Army's point of view, I think in being inside the red zone of Navy, I think they will be looking to launch another attack as a full line out is formed, and I'm sure they are going for the maul. As the second row comes down, they set them all, but it was broken and the ball has been stolen. They've been picked off the pocket as Navy this time. It was a good charge there, and he somehow managed to lose the ball, but the referee goes back for the advantage. That was
Referee playing advantage. I think once the Sailors lost it, brings the ball back to the initial point of the penalty. So now there will be a scrum.
That was Janit Laksara who went on a good run, but unfortunately knocked the ball on forward. As Richie Dharmawala feeds into the scrum inside the Navy red zone. Scrum not stable, but this time the referee says put it in. Shoves it in under the second row's foot. It's not too legal. This time Tilina Veerasinghe sends a lovely grubber and finds good touch as Army go back into their half of the field. As off camera we can see the experienced Suranga Pushpakumara coming on for, not too sure who he's coming on for, but it's a replacement for Dinesh De Silva. He's not had a good game in his start at fly half, but it's quite unfortunate for the youngster as Suranga Pushpakumara comes in, and it's a slight shuffle as Richie Dharmapala goes to fly half and Suranga Pushpakumara plays at scum half.
Bags load of experience in the shape of Suranga Pushpakumara. Surely that's exactly what they need right now. Experience, calm heads, collective heads, leadership in the middle, so that they bounce back from this initial position of theirs.
As the referee is asking for a ball, and they get one, but not too sure whether the referee will be happy with it. Can wait and see now as the referee blows back for time on, and Army to throw into the line out inside their own half.
A bit of words being exchanged also between the two hookers.
Lovely line there by the center. Gets the short ball off Ashan Bandara. Rather, that was a win 3. Iranga Aryapala. This time, Danushka Talvatta coughs it up, and Sali Handapan goes for the kick. I think again there was another knock on. Yes, there was the second knock on there. And so now it will be an attack in scrum for Navy inside the Army half of play, field of play rather. So it will be good to see what they will do from here on.
Here's that replay. Sali Handapangoda had a sniff, but I think he was surrounded by a band of Army players, hence wasn't given the opportunity. But fortunately, again, fortune favouring the Sailors, as there's a second knock-on which the referee has awarded for a scrum.
As Suranga Pushpakumara feeds his first scrum, Dulanjana runs well and hands off this flanker and makes some good ground. A short ball to Stefan Gregory. First contribution in the second half as he's replaced the captain, but again Sali Handapan knocks it on forward. He has been having a horrid day at the office, and his day doesn't get any better. The third knock on.
Absolute horror show by Sali Handapangoda today. He hasn't been able to hold the ball, Romario. That's absolute kindergarten error. Again, here we see the replay. What is going through his mind right now, only he would know. He's finding it really hard to grasp the ball, surprisingly enough for a man of his quality.
And rightly so, he has been changed, and it's Niranjan Vikramaratne coming on for Salia Handapangoda in the far side wing. So I think it was a correct call. Even the coach didn't want to put Salia Handapangoda into any more difficulty and took him off the field, rightly so.
Yeah, took him out of his misery. He wasn't having a good day whatsoever, and also it added more pressure to his own team, which wasn't ideal in this scenario, especially when they're trailing by 10 points. Every single chance which is coming their way is being squandered by a very loose bit of handling, so that's not what you can afford in a crunch situation like this. So Mutala Jatilaka doing the right thing, taking the man out, probably giving him a bit of breather, asking him to probably settle down and, take this entire performance out of his mind, giving another player an opportunity to probably bring his team able to cover up in defense. If not, it would have been a breakaway try, which completely would have put this game out of sight. Probably would have been the final nail in the Sailors' coffin, but still the game remains alive. Still only 49 minutes played as the clock has been stopped by the referee.
Yes, and we just see Dulanjana joining the scrum, getting his left knee strapped as well. So both knees strapped in the center of the scrum, and it's an attack, rather a defensive scrum for Army inside their own half. They would look to kick to touch and gain some yards, but unfortunately, or rather fortunately for Ashayan Bandara, he knocks the ball on, but a penalty. The referee blows for a penalty at the scrum. The Navy player was caught offside.
I think he was playing advantage on that occasion, but having spilled the ball, I'm sure he breathed a huge sigh of relief, Ashan Bandara, because that's a very cynical position to provide that advantage to the Sailors. Again, yet another player hitting the deck. Slowly picking himself up though. Now Gayan Salinda puts his laces through it. Beautiful kick just inside the Navy half. So just what the doctor ordered, or just on top of the 50-meter line. So that's not a bad kick.
Yes, not a bad kick, and he really relieves some pressure of his side. So it's good on the part of Gayan Salinda.
I think this is where Army did very well in their previous game against CR and FC as well. They wore down the CR offense defensively. Their forwards absolutely put in a real shift, and I won't be surprised if they go to the same ploy. They have a comfortable 10-point advantage. Another try would suit their cause dearly, but having said that,
the player has been tackled and Gertha had to release, and he did release in time as Gayan Salinda shows and goes, but it's well tackled there by Supun Dilshan on the near wing. Another good run there by, rather not good run by Samir. He lost it forward, and Navy are back with possession as Stefan Gregory picks off the scrum and picks off the ruck and runs, makes 20-30 meters. A good blocking run there, but unfortunately for Navy, Richie Dharmapala's pass doesn't find a man. Tilina Veerasinghe ran hard, but fortunately for Army, he was tackled, and Navy set it back again. Dulanjana this time.
Stefan Gregory with a robust run, and again the advancing number 5 was chopped down. Janit Laksara absolutely toppled off his feet. I beg your pardon, that's Tilina who was actually toppled off. But still, the ball remains with the Sailors. They would dearly love a try on this occasion. As we see, once again, Dulanjana bustling forward. The crowd getting into it now. Surely they need their crowd to support them. Navy showing some fight. Navy showing some absolutely good fight.
That was Silva there on that occasion, but the referee blows for a penalty. And Richie Dharmapala takes it and goes quickly. But a player was cynically not 10 meters back, and I'm sure the referee will go to his pocket if Army does not finish the move. Yes, the referee is signaling for time off as a couple of players there get involved in a little bit of a push and shove. Niranjan Vikramaratne never far away from little bit of drama.
Yeah, now the heat is pouring out from both sets of players.
As you can see there, that's why the penalty was the players went off their feet, and unfortunately it was cut off, but Richie Dharmapala took the quick tap, and the man who tackled him, who wasn't 10 meters, was a cynical tackle, and Samir Suryarachi is sent to the sin bin for 10 minutes.
Is this the bit of luck Navy needed? Is this the point of the game where the tides turn in favor of the Sailors? We are yet to see Stefan Gregory slowly picking himself up. He has been a very good substitution, I might say. Offensively, he has driven and gathered so much of valuable yards for the Sailors as the scrum has been pointed by the referee, taken to the position in which it should be taken.
Yes, and rightly so. Navy are using the man advantage in the scrum and have opted for a scrum, so sure they will be looking to push Army forward. As off screen we can see the crowd, the Army crowd from one side cheering them on, while the Navy crowd cheering their team on at home.
Certainly the Army faithful weren't happy with the yellow card being handed. Lovely running there by Suranga Pushpakumar on that occasion. Lovely inwards movement, looking for his man now. Again, lovely quick offload, inside pass for the number 11. That's Supun Dilshan. Stefan Gregory once again gaining bit of yards, setting it up for his team. Again, Suranga Pushpakumar in the thick of things, but once again, loose bit of handling. Still, it's a penalty for the Sailors.
It's a surprise penalty there. I'm not too sure why though. But
interesting replay to see.
We can see the referee going to the captain, Army captain, and having a word. As we see here on the replay, there was no advantage shown, but from here on, the referee blows for a penalty. Not too sure why though.
I think the explanation is given.
Yes, and we will be telecasting the cricket Singer Under-19 cricket tournament game match between Lumbini College and Prince of Wales on the 30th and 31st of January, live from 9:30 AM onwards from BRC grounds. So you can catch live coverage of the cricket as well on the ThePapare.com. As Suranga Pushpakumar goes to feed the scrum again, he'll be hoping for some clear ball this time, as he was put under pressure the previous scrum, but managed to recover. Suranga Pushpakumar goes in, and Tulanjana breaks, but is gracefully tackled. That was Charit Silva there setting up Suranga Pushpakumar.
Here goes Stefan Gregory, the big man, takes 3 men out of play. Now Pushpakumar back in the action. Lovely inside movement, and that is an absolute gem of a try. Beautiful.
And that's some lovely bit of celebration as well. He applauds his own try.
Well, that's certainly one for the highlights reel. Beautiful try. I think bringing all his experience into play is Pushpakumar. Once he gathered the ball, he saw the gap and Once he got into his stride, there was no stopping that little man. Strong lad despite his size, but certainly could bag a punch. And he's celebrating momentously. Here's once again that replay. Stefan Gregory driving in. And once Sulanjana Pushpakumar saw Gayan Salin make that move towards his right, or towards his right side rather, he always identified that gap. And boy, that was quite a creative try, applauding his own efforts. That being said, now Navy have an opportunity through Tilina Veerasinghe to bring this deficit down by 6 points. Does this conversion make its way through? Was pin drop silence until the Army faithful decided to get through, but make no mistake, that was an excellent kick. Wasn't the hardest of angles, but still the momentum, or like the heat of the moment rather, you tend to miss those, but he makes no mistake. It's 14 points to 20, still in the favor of the visiting Army side, but only 58 minutes on the clock. A little bit over 20 minutes to play. Boy, we have a game in our hands.
Yes, and it'll be Gayan Salin to kick off for Army. I think they will be hoping to get back the momentum somewhat, which has been lost as Dulanjana goes, but seemed to be as if the tackler should have been released, but the referee thought otherwise and let the game play on as Army get a penalty advantage and kicks it over, but a knock on there, and there again the player in front caught it, and it should have been a penalty, but again the referee misses that one as well.
Yeah, sloppy bit of missighting on that occasion. The reason why we are indicating on that is because the Army could have gained a few more yards into the 22. Here's the replay, but this of course is the previous gathering after the restart. Now during that moment you've been looking at the replay. The ball has been kicked into touch, and the soldiers are within the 22 of the sailors. This line out will be crucial. Navy will have to hold strong. They wouldn't want to be let off after that initial advantage.
As Army set the rolling maul, but it was brought down, and Navy somehow managed a turnover, and they have numbers on the outside if they could manage a pass, but unfortunately Tirina Veerasinghe, another knock on from the back three of Navy, costing them some good meters.
Had he collected that, he had a man in support and entire field to run at, with Army chasing their tails. And boy oh boy, once again a sloppy bit of handling proves to be the downfall of the sailors. I mean, they've been the architects of their own downfall, you have to say. And now it's back with the soldiers, who will feel like they've been given a huge lifeline on that occasion, because had the ball been picked up cleanly, Navy for the first time would have been in the lead if everything worked out according to plan. But here goes the number 32 running in towards this challenge. That's Ashan Bandara. Once again recycled. This time it's Ashok Jailal.
But again,
good defensive work. Hard yards put in by the sailing man. And that's a off-ball challenge. The referee clearly identifying that and awards the penalty towards the Army men. Now it's getting heated out there. It's getting really heated out there. But boy, what a run that was.
Yes, that was Niranjan Vikramaratne in his comeback game, and as you can see here on the replay, he chased that kick with force and he managed to beat the chaser, but he seemed to have clipped his ankle and taken him over, and it's a yellow card there for Iranga Aryapala. That's the second yellow card of the game for Army, so this time it's Iranga Aryapala who will sit in the sin bin for 10 minutes, and he will have a moment to think about what he did wrong.
Certainly that highlight was worthy of a Olympic movie, because he absolutely came from nowhere to beat his man Iranga Aryapala, and for his troubles on Niranjan Vikramaratne, he has received a yellow card. Now the sailors will fancy this. They will fancy this for sure. The crowd is getting into it surely but steadily. They have identified that this is the opportunity in which they can hit hard.
Yes, and also as the light fades here at Navy grounds, we can see the floodlights lit up, or rather taking effect slowly as Dulanjana throws into the line out, caught in at the front, and Navy set up the drive-in maul, but it was well defended by Army. And they brought it down, and it'll be Pushpa Kumar to Stefan Gregory. He puts his head down, pumps his feet, but does not manage to get any yards. Pushpa Kumar this time goes to the short side, and that was a lovely move there, but unfortunately the player seemed to have rolled into touch, or rather he knocked it on in goal.
Again, wonderful bit of play by Suranga Pushpa Kumar, but the number 17, the loose head prop Charit Silva, squandering the opportunity, letting the ball slip in the absolute depth of the move, just when he saw the try looming. I think that just got to I think the moment got to him. A bit of excitement of being probably the match winner on that occasion. And as a result, the Army players have a scrum on their favor. Just as you can see, the AFC qualifier for the Asian Champions League between Colombo FC and Mohan Bagan of India will be played in Colombo. The very first leg on the 31st of January at 3:10. We will be showing it live from the Racecourse International Stadium. Do tune in to the live action. As we can see, Hashan Bandar kicking it down deep again. Niranjan Vikramaratne, cynical, was under no pressure whatsoever, but let the ball slip once again.
Yes, and the situation seems to be getting the better out of the home team. As you can see on the replay, it was a piece of cake on a usual day, but unfortunately he let it slip through. Butterfingers there by Niranjan, as the Army crowd as well getting behind their team. But off camera we can see their captain Manoj Silva seems to be getting some treatment, or rather there's two players down off camera. Manoj Silva just gets up and goes forward, goes back into play, while the other player was a Navy player, and he's also getting back onto his feet and running in.
The referee restarts the clock. Exactly 15 minutes left to be played. A little less than 15. Like you said, Romario, Butterfingers seems to be like a curse. Earlier it was Salia Handapangoda, which resulted in him being taken off as a replacement was sent in.
Yes, also Joseph, we can see Dhanushka Perera's head. A lot of blood coming out there. And, he's a warrior though. He will surely stay on. He would not want to go off as Army player breaks from the back of the scrum and sets it up. Mahesh gives it out to the lock forward Nalaga Maduranga. Again Mahesh, this time to Number 18, Ishara Danushka.
Heavy hit there by Tushara on that occasion. Now the numbers are there. Lovely slip through. Nashan Bandara on that occasion, but still held back by the Navy defense. I'm surprised that the referee has allowed Danushka to stay on. Usually they tend to ask them to change or at least attend towards the wound. But like you said, he's a real tough cookie. He's not a man afraid of a challenge. It doesn't really matter whether he's wounded or not. He'll always opt to fight. Again, cardinal error.
But the referee pulls back play for a line offside penalty for Army, so they still have the opportunity to attack from this penalty, and it'll be interesting to see what they do, what the decision is, whether it's to go for touch or go for goal. As we see on the replay, the Army replacement winger.
It was Kosala Tisera, the culprit on that occasion, as the referee pointed out, on the line which was called offside.
So it'll be a scrum inside the Navy 22, and it'll be Army on the attack. As we can see off camera, there is another player down. Players, I think the intensity of the game seems to be getting the better out of players as the referee blows for time off.
They're falling off like dominoes at the moment. Every single time there's a heavy challenge or a heavy collision between both the teams, one player just seemed to be coming off short. But this time around, Stefan Gregory, straight away the physiotherapist signal for replacement. Doesn't look good. Now there's another, I think the second indication was for the stretcher. But certainly he doesn't seem to be in any sort of shape to be playing. And the referee has indicated for the replacement to come on.
And I'm sure, Joseph, it'll be quite a tough task if it's the two officials are only the two people trying to carry him off the field.
Yeah, not a very sound task if you're outnumbered when it comes to a man like Stefan Gregory, and rightfully they've asked for some assistance. And eventually 5 men is what it takes to carry this man out. And now it's become 6.
And meanwhile it's Army on the attack as we hear the Army faithful screaming the team's name and cheering them on as the maul breaks, and Army set it up with Ashoka Jalal again putting his head down. He's been a warrior. He's been fighting and playing the whole 68 minutes, but Army cough it up again. And Suranga Pushpakumara decides to pass it to Richie Dharmapala as he kicks. And Niranjan is chasing it, but it beats everyone into touch. So another breather there for both sides.
I think the idea was right from Suranga Pushpakumar to play on. He offloaded at the right time, but with the numbers in their favor, whether kicking it out was the right option, I doubt. Here we see on the replay that was the knock on Nalaka Madhuranga, the culprit. See, he had a lot of numbers outside in his favor. He could have taken one challenge out and offloaded, but he opted for the kick, which hands back the ball towards the soldiers, which I don't think they really mind, despite losing out on a good opportunity to score a try. So again, decision making very questionable on that occasion, as we see the ball being recycled onto the line. Number 30 hitting hard. That's the substitute to Victor Pradeep, taken down, and number 9 Mahesh Veerasinghe working on it once again. This is exactly what they did against CRNFC. Wore them down completely by their forwards, and then eventually tired them out of the game and grabbed that much needed victory.
Yes, and that's some very intelligent play there by the number 9. He saw a player stuck in the ruck and he made sure that he was not rolling out. He held him in there and bought a penalty, you can say there. That was intelligent play by Mahesh Veerasinghe as the referee blows on that occasion for the player not rolling away. He put the referee in a position where he had to blow for the penalty.
Yeah, talk about good good intelligent play by a scrum half. And that's exactly what you want to see. It's not just a matter of ability, it's about your mental stability as well, how you see the game and how you react to certain situations. And boy, that was really a moment of brilliance there by Mahesh Veerasinghe. As a result, now Gayan Salind has the opportunity to add 3 more points. It's a direct kick towards the upright. And now again the Navy supporters returning the favor.
Rightly so, the referee
Asking
the water carriers to run off the field. The rule is they can't come on when a penalty is being kicked. So rightly so, the referee doing his job as Gayan Salind lines it up from right in front and
easy as you like it.
Makes no mistake there, Gayan Salind. So the lead goes up by 3 more points to 6 points.
It's 23 points to 17 is what the scoreboard will read now. Again, valuable 3 points added. But still, Navy should back themselves up. It's just a solitary try and a conversion away. So they just need to put in the hard yards right now, and they can still break Army hearts for the second time running in this year's Dialog Rugby League, as they did back at the Racecourse International Stadium on the first run of fixtures.
And that was a good bit of intelligent play there by Thilina Veerasinghe as well. He saw the men shot on the far side and went for the opposite side restart, as time seems to be running out on Navy, and they need a converted try if they are to have any chance of winning.
Little less than 5 minutes remaining as the clock is ticking down. $25 points to 24 was what the scoreline read the previous time these two met. And if Navy managed to score a late try and managed to convert it, it will read 24 points to 23 this time around. But all being said, that's quite a hypothetical scenario. And again, a loose bit of handling, hands the ball back. Now the Sailors certainly having to dig deep, have to turn over this ball.
The referee there, that occasion, catching Army for driving in early. So Navy have another chance to
Again,
go for a try.
Very sloppy once again. Handing the advantage back towards the Sailors. Again, not what the doctor ordered in terms of what Army are concerned. Being a moment of, again, cynical error. And Salind thumps it forward.
Relieves a whole host of pressure there on Army as Thilina Veerasinghe returns the favor.
Good hands on that occasion. This is a bit of Hail Mary going on at the moment. Lovely collection there by Suranga Pushpakumara. That man has been an inspiration from the moment he has walked in. Has held his own and played a beautiful game today. But by the looks of it at the moment, he might as well end up in the losing side. But still, time in favor. Knock back, says the referee. So there is still time and advantage on Navy's behalf.
Yes, and Navy seems to be putting in a final burst here. And yes, Navy coughs up another opportunity there. That has been the story of the day for Navy. Supun Dilshan somehow manages to collect the ball, but he seems to be outnumbered. But unfortunately, the Army players killed the competition. And Navy get a penalty, and Richie Dharmapala running from his own 22. Bit of dangerous play there, but that's the need of the hour.
Oh,
but
it's a stolen ball! And there it is! Number 21, alert to the danger. Substitute Madhushan Chandrasekhara. That's the final nail in the sailor's coffin. And boy, oh, that is just adding insult to injury. Replicating Suranga Pushpakumara's celebration. What a turn of events here. Here's the replay after Richie's initial burst of pace, gathering momentum. Charit Silva's loose pass was completely capitalized by Madhushan Chandrasekhara, and well, it was just a stroll from that point onwards. And seriously, they did rub some salt into that injury with that celebration. Certainly showing that what you are capable of, we are equally capable of doing. And this is just going to be a walk in the park for Gayan Salind. Having done all the hard work today, this is just bread and butter stuff for him. That will be the last bit of play, if I'm not mistaken. Probably a couple of minutes or a minute or so remaining on the clock. And that will not only be the end of the challenge for the Sailors in this game, but also probably in the title race as well. Completely out of nowhere, Army have toppled two big teams during the course of 2 weeks.
Yes, Joseph, and I think it's time we decide a man of the match, and there are many contenders for it. Iranga Aryapala was outstanding, Gayan Salind with the boot, but we decided to go with the loose head prop, Asoka Jailal. He was ever present, and when asked for to carry the ball forward, he put his head down and put in a mighty shift, and he's still out there.
Yeah, the old warhorse came into the party today, didn't he? I think just when his team needed him the most, he walked out and played an absolute blinder of a game. The veteran showing his class and ability. And that performance certainly wins him man of the match. Or rather, the ThePapare.com player of the game.
As Navy put in a final attack, but that pass seemed to go forward, and rightly so, the referee calling a forward pass.
That basically sums up the game for Navy. That phase of play.
Drop balls and forward passes is the story of the day today. And Navy have rather self-destructively conceded defeat here at home to an Army team which looked pretty good from the onset.
They came here aiming the upset, and they have caused the upset. And boy, have they been playing some excellent rugby for the last 2 weeks or so, or what? First it was CRNFC, now it's Army. I beg your pardon, it's Navy. And who's to say next week they won't topple another big name.
Yes, as we see the clock running into 80, even though the clock goes 80, they'll play on because they play to the referee's watch and not to our clock. So, but unfortunately, another knock on. So, the day equally ending for both teams with a couple of knock-ons as Richie Dharmapala takes a moment to reflect on what has gone wrong and gets a deep breath as well.
I think it's not been a very consistent game from either side. It's just that when it mattered, when it came around, it's a matter of who took their chances and opportunities. I mean, I might want to add a bit that Army too, in the first half, had valuable opportunities just near the try line where they handed the ball back with knock-on fouls. But still, on the long run, they still managed to persistently go forward and consistently trouble the Navy defense and break them through. Now they're going through the motions at the moment. They're wearing this Navy offense. And once again, it's a penalty for the sailors, the soldiers, I beg your pardon. Everyone is asking Guy and Salinder to go for touch. Referee is looking at his watch. A bit of inquiry there by Ashok Jalal. But I think he need not do anything stupid right now. They've got the game in their bag. And just they have to go through the motions and see this through. As the ball has been kicked into touch, the referee still opts to play on. Interestingly enough. Now, how many minutes more he's going to add? We're yet to see. That is exactly what the soldiers are inquiring at the moment, I'm pretty sure. The Army supporters are in full flight. They're savoring the moment. They're absorbing it. Nothing as sweet as a victory in your opposition lair.
Yes, and also we can see on camera Stefan Gregory being told to go off to the sin bin, rather to the blood bin. But he's arguing his case. But the referee, I don't think he will let him play on with blood pouring out from his eye.
I think his left eyelid on top has been split open. Was nursed initially, but doesn't seem to have helped the cause. He was not at all a happy customer asking to be left out of the playing field. The physiotherapist had to force him out of the ground, so to say. And even the physiotherapist is arguing his case because I don't think there's much of blood cover, and even the band-aid on top doesn't seem to be covered with blood. I think Danushka had a far worse case in that matter, but still, the resulting line-out is being collected cleanly. Army are running at Navy once again, and they're going for the bonus point try. Knocked it on once again, but I don't think they will really care. And that is the final whistle. Army have caused a huge upset here at Walisara as they have knocked Navy out of the title challenge.
And also, this is Navy's first defeat at home this season, so I'm sure it will be one hard to swallow for Navy as they lose to the soldiers.